Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1564. I'm your host Arwin. And before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and yeah, I can always use the support. Please keep it coming. Right. Anyway, weather today is, well, yeah, I'm in my t-shirt, so you could have guessed. It's really gorgeous. It's almost wind still. It's really sunny. A couple of clouds, but I mean, whatever. They're not getting in the way of the sun, and it's nice and warm. There's, by the way, bugs flying all over the place too, so it's been really nice. And I did actually get up decently early, so I had like a lot of time sitting in the sun and reading some more Rudolf Steiner. So yeah, really beautiful day. But something happened. Hello, the Adamican first in chat. Good to see you. Richard G. Good to see you. It is Saturday, the 8th of April 2023. And yeah, yesterday we heard via sources that apparently, yep, hello Glenn Selch, yeah, indeed, Bob Knodel passed away. And yeah, that's at least to say a shocker, right? In a way. I mean, it's weird. I mean, well, you guys might not be surprised. I have a lot of mixed feelings, and I'm not really feeling all that like a comrade has fallen, because Bob Knodel's never actually been nice to me, like, ever. So, yeah. But I get it. He was right in there, and I guess that the Bob Empire has fallen now. Because, yeah. No empire without the emperor. Practice. Now, you don't have to tell me what to do, Glenn Selch. You don't have to tell me what to do at all. I feel the way I feel, and I'm not gonna get hostile. But, I mean, yeah. Yeah. At least you could say, like, I feel really sorry for Cammy. Because she is a really nice woman. And, I mean, it is her life partner, basically. Think of it what you will, but that really sucks for her, and I'm really sorry about that for her, mostly. And I guess his son, I had no idea who that is. But, yeah. Of course. I am not like a unsympathetic grouch like that. I understand suffering, okay? right? But I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna go harping. Don't worry about it. I'm not a rude little gamma or anything. But yeah, there was a lot of shit that I had to deal with because of Bob. Okay, right. All right, good. All right, because there's a whole history there. I mean, you could dig back. I might talk about it, but not now. Right. As for my sensory readings, I mean, I think he's fine on the other side. He has really attempted to really utilize a lot of positive energy, and now he fucked it up a lot. But I mean, look who's talking, right? I mean, I really fanatically try to do good, but I fuck up all the time too, and I get in social conflicts, and yeah. So, right? I get it. Like, I'm not gonna like, I want him to go to hell. No, absolutely not. No, he's gonna get exactly the truth. I mean, that's the least you can expect on the other side, is you're gonna see the truth, and you're gonna see the truth of your mistakes. Like, and it's just the way it is, and it doesn't really matter anymore then. Right? Their life is then behind them. So, at best, I'm kind of neutral, and I'm gonna stay that way. I don't want to aggravate any hurt. And I mean, especially Cammy, really nice lady. Like, I've never seen her do anything mean. She was a little Stockholmish at worst. But, like, there's nothing really bad about her that I've ever seen. So, yeah, that sucks for her. And all my sympathy. Right? Yeah, nobody's perfect. Indeed. Right. So, yeah. Bit of a shocker. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with this overall. I've heard, because I haven't really been following, that he's been like kind of in the background anyway. He was sick for a while. Yeah. Right. But anyway, I know there's a lot of people that just really liked what he did, and yeah, that sucks, man. I get it. But you gotta realize there's also some pretty messed up personal beef between us. That's not gonna, yeah, it's not gonna be resolved really. I can resolve it for myself, but I mean, I've already kind of done that. Right. 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 So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as I'm gonna talk about it, because if I go into analysis, I'm gonna drag up all kinds of dirt, and I don't want to do that. It's not going to be received anyway, right? For me, it would be like, yeah, but there's all these details that I just want to clarify. But I mean, it's not very emotionally compatible with the situation, so I'm not going to be an autist about it and just do it anyway. Okay, right. So, yeah, other than that, yesterday's Flat Earth debate was great. I mean, we all found this out like much later, like a few hours before I went to bed. Humility is... yeah. Okay, thanks. It's also just logical, right? As I just explained. Right? What point is communication when it's not going to be received? Because nobody's open for it, right? This is the grief phase, and then people need their time for that. Like, not just people that are like family, other people too. To them it's a shocker, and it's like they're gonna go through all the memories and the cool things that he said and all that. And he said he was an interesting talker, I'll give it to you, right? It's just when social interactions come into play. But anyway, he was pretty good at telling his ideas. He did so interestingly. In the beginning, I was kind of captivated too. I listened to my share of Glowbusters, like when I was still in a very early phase of my channel. Right. You know, a weird situation was at some point, like, we were almost gonna like become allies because of Gravity, because I was defending Gravity like in 2017. And then, well, QE came on the scene, and science got really, well, detailed all of a sudden. And then I concluded that it was an aberration, and I think that really hit Bob in the wrong spot. Like, he really didn't like that I did that. He's never been even attempting to be nice towards me after that. I don't know, man. Allies? No. No, we're not allies. Allies don't do those things. I mean, I could have been allies, but didn't get that from them. So, my allies in seeking truth. Yeah, but that's just called having the same directive. That doesn't mean an alliance. An alliance is a social connection. You have an understanding. It's not just you follow the same principles. And besides, I didn't feel like that at all. Because they did all kinds of things that is just really out of sync with what I strive for. Disruptive. I mean, I'm not talking about Bob, by the way, specifically even, but the whole on that side group, Jaren too, and all that, and a whole bunch of people. They encouraged like devil persecuting type behavior, Savonia syndrome, if you will. They just encouraged more friction and infighting. I mean, I don't want to go through all that. So I don't feel they're allies, right? Like, allies don't attack one another. They only strive to help one another. That's an ally. Right? If you just happen to have the same opponent, it doesn't always automatically make you an ally. That's a good thing strategically to uphold. Yeah, but guess what? Not everybody's strategic. So a lot of the time it's like competition feeling, ego, just takes over anyway, and then you just start prodding who could be your ally because you feel that he might like overtake you or something. And then you're not an ally, and you're a competitor. Anyway. Yeah, so Glenn, just calm it down already. You're filling up my entire chat here. Anyway, is anybody else here? Did everybody now flee the scene? I have no idea. Their journey just I don't feel like that. I just feel they're getting in the way of my mission. That's all. Hey, Richard G. Right. Any songbirds chirping? Yeah, of course, all over the place. The typical. I don't know specifically by the type of chirp what kind of bird it is. My expertise on little singing birds, unfortunately, is not that extensive. Do appreciate them though. Right, because the little singing birds, well, they don't really come here or anything on top of the roof. So I know about the bigger birds more. Easier to spot too. Anyway. But I mean, there's still regularly an owl coming by at night. He always sounds so enthusiastic. Almost as enthusiastic as sometimes the chickens go off downstairs. Robins, right. Jays, sparrows, blackbirds, crows. Yeah. Turtle doves, cool. I haven't seen the white doves for a while. Don't know what they're up to. Maybe that guy moved or something. I don't know. Right, but there's like more little other types of birds that are going around here. And the weird, what do you call them? Yeah, green parrots. Yeah. There's whole flocks of them. Sometimes they come by and sit in the tree there. It's funny. Yeah, green parrots. The smaller ones. Yeah, they're all escaped parrots, and they are like their own colony. They've colonized the city for decades. And they seem to thrive. Sometimes there's like hundreds of them. Like sitting in the trees. Making huge amounts of noise. Hilarious. Maybe I can find a photo. Come on. That's not... I can do better than that. Don't want close-ups. Wow, I bumped into an article that calls them an invasive species. It's hilarious. Because apparently they are, like... Yeah, well, they're not native, of course. What? Okay. Let's see. Okay, they don't really show it. I mean, there's one photo of like flying birds, but there's, I mean, nobody made a photo. Nobody made a photo of like giant. Why doesn't anybody make a photo of that? Like, it's only stupid close-up photos. What is this, Google? It's very specific. What? They're ridiculous results. This is insane. How can there not be a freaking photo of that? Do I have to make a photo of it? What the hell? Why is there no photo of this? This has been happening for decades. Nobody made a photo and put it on the internet, Google? Really? This is mind-boggling. What is that? Okay, this would be a photo which would be the closest thing to looking kind of like... Right. Man, I had to dig for that. This is insane, Google. Did you just throw everything away? Right, yeah, this should work. So this is a link to the photos, just a link, so no hassle here. Right, so that is kind of what it does look like. And these are those types of parrots too. Now this photo was apparently from Amsterdam, but I mean, yeah, that happens over here a lot. And it's that packed. Right, anyway. Hey LVA Paul, good to see you. I watched some of that stream yesterday, it was interesting. I watched it this morning, I mean. You even mentioned like how some crazy people just keep following my channel for 8 years just to troll it. And same people come back, yeah. What's a spectacle? I don't know, Glenn Solch. They're green parrots, I mean, they have a name. Again. think it's in the article that that's from. Parkeeten. A parket. Okay, that is apparently the type of bird. Parket, I think it's pronounced. Anyway. In Dutch it's parkiet. Right, so yeah, they're not super large parrots. They're like this big in total, like including tail. They're not huge. They're as big as a... what do you call them again? As big as a jackdaw. That's roughly the size of him. Not super large. Like, I mean, yeah, there's some huge parrots. Not those. No, they wouldn't survive here, probably. Right, but those types of birds are very popular here, or have been for a long time, like since the 80s. And apparently a whole bunch of them just managed to escape enough for them to basically become a self-procreating flock. They manage, apparently. Have no idea where they're even laying their eggs. Probably trees. Anyway. Parakeet? Yes. I think so. Miniature macaw. Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm not a fan of parrots. I don't like it. They're too noisy, like guinea pigs. Find guinea pigs annoying too. I don't like animals that are loud for basic communication. In that sense, I don't really like dogs that bark all the time either. Drive me nuts. Don't like hard, unexpected noises. That's why I tend to like cats more. Although, I mean, some birds, like silly... My ex had this bird, what is it, like a rice bird? And they make like noisy, like it's kind of tropical like noises. But, I mean, that's not disruptive. I thought that was cute. But they're just not as loud as like a parakeet. Anyway. Okay, Ohor. Bro. What, you don't feel like a man because a bunch of alphas got the front seat? Oh my god. The tragedy. Oh no. Did you really need to share all that? Person I've never seen before? Is that the way you enter chats? Hello. Would be a better start. Anyway. Huh. Yeah, thanks LBA Paul for being chat support. I appreciate that. Hey, Seeking Starwater, good to see you. I don't love rugby, oh horror. I don't even know the rules to that. Okay, I've never watched it on television. I just know it's a typical brawny sport, so they're probably gonna be alphas, and yeah, they're gonna be like, no, we're not gonna wait for some gamma in line. We need to eat now or we're gonna faint or something. So, yeah, shit happens. Oh no. Oh, parakeets in the kid. Okay, Rufus. Right. My dad used to have a canary at one point. But I already thought it was kind of annoying because it's just its beep is so sharp. Can you show the pic? Oh, you emailed me something? Okay, I'll check it out. What? Huh. Ooh. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, I will share that. Thanks for sending me that. Right, so this is the picture that Seeking Starwater sent me. Photograph. Yeah, it looks beautiful. Cold, but beautiful. Nice. Yeah, I hope the real spring comes through for you too at some point. Staying above freezing? Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah, but Glenn said it's more than that. It's more than just, oh, grown-ass men. No, it's alphas. Big, headstrong guys that chase around a ball. I mean, like the ball Earth, right? I mean, you're a nerd. You're kind of smart, and you really love the ball. It's gonna, yeah. I don't know. A lot of nerds don't like football and all that, though. It's weird. But you're right. I mean, it's about chasing around the ball. So it's like for the brawny guys, they chase around the ball physically, and for the nurse, they chase around the ball mentally. They got it all figured out, don't they? What are you talking about, Glenn Salts? Hey, Cleary. No, come on. What am I doing? Alright. What? What the? How's this? Okay, kind of want to change the title, but now I find myself incapable of doing that. What's going on here? Oh wait! I'm logged in with the wrong... the wrong account, no wonder. There we go. Right. So I'm calling this show Rest in Peace, Bob Knodel, Beef Can Wait. Thought that might be appropriate. Hey, Godzilla 37. Good to see you. Yep. Oh, you hadn't heard yet, Seeking Starwater? Yeah, he passed away last night. I think, or the day before. We heard about it last night. He had been kind of sick for a while. I know very little detail. Right. Yeah, indeed. Condolences to his family. Cammy. I mean, what the hell are you talking about? What? What? I don't know. Enter the loop. It sucks, I guess. I don't know. Hey, if they're gonna ruin their game, then go ahead, ruin your game, you know? Or maybe they think it will just work anyway. There's gonna be like really rich, sick bastards out there that don't care about money. They'll just throw in whatever's required. I don't know. Hey, the big M. Yeah. What a guess. What the fuck are you talking about? Look. 18 to 55. You're gonna have to elaborate. Or I'm probably gonna end up kicking you out as a troll. So, what the hell are you talking about? He's been sick for months. Right? Now, if you're saying he got into a motorcycle accident those months ago and that's why he was sick, he was recovering or something, okay, that would maybe make sense. I don't know. But I don't know what you're exactly implying here. He definitely did not just like get in a crash and die. That did not happen. Your budgie knocked you out. What? What's a budgie? How do I know? No, you're making the claim here, dude. You're gonna have to back it. I'm just trying to clarify what you're implying. Oh, cute. How did they knock you out? Did it fly like straight in between your eyes or something? Or against your temple? Or it didn't break its neck? Like how could that knock you out? Globebusters posted that. Really? Really? Okay. I guess I'll have to take a look. Huh. Right, Where did you find this? It's not in the community posts. Are you talking about some forum? Because it's not on their YouTube page. Or maybe it's on the other Globebusters. Nope. Oh, it's on Jaren's. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not Glowbusters. That's Jaren. Right. They posted a video on Jaren's. No. Short? No. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway. Look. There's gonna be this tribute show on Glowbusters, of course. So it's probably all gonna be laid down what happened. Right? There's no point in like, oh, I'm gonna speculate it ahead of time. Right? So he flew into the pots and pans. What? Like a nest. I mean, the big M, if it's like a rock nesting bird, that's very logical that it's gonna try to find your pans. Because it will look for hard, bowl-like places. Like normally in rock. But that's really funny, like it's flying into your pans. It's probably trying to find a nest then. Maybe it wants to procreate. Oh! Oh! Okay, the big... Now I get it. The little bird basically dropped a giant pan on your head. Okay, that is freaking hilarious. And silly. Now I get it. What? Didn't push cult mentality? Okay. I don't know. Classical homeopath, maybe he didn't. As Erwin, yeah. Steamy Traveler. He did make a little video about that, and yeah, indeed, Godzilla posted it. Okay, Glenn Salch, well, maybe that's like a members only thing because I'm not seeing it. Or maybe they took it away again? Do you have a snapshot? I don't know, man. Whatever, Glenn Salch. I can't find it unless you can literally link it up. yeah, whatever. We'll find out. Does it really matter? I mean, really? Uh, right. It is kind of weird to me, though, you know, in ways. Because, well, around the time when he would have had those heart issues and all that, I seem to have some issues of my own. Like, that's part of the reason why I stopped eating salt and all that. Right? It's weird. But I mean, correlation is not causation or anything, but it's just so odd. Like, how these things just, like, rhyme. It's not parallel, but it's like, what? Is there some cycle that I went through too, and he couldn't take it anymore or something? Like, was that? Did a lot of people like have heart issues a few days ago? I wonder. Right? Hello, the new pad files. Good salt is good for you. Celtic salt. Yeah, LVA Paul, but I mean, there's just something as basic as too much saline. I mean, yes, I know good salt. I advertise it all the time, but I mean, no matter what kind of good salt, you can take too much eventually. And I can take a whole bunch of it. But I basically just, well, effectively kept pushing it, and then it's like, okay, it starts to feel like the salt is literally starting to crystallize in my blood. Now, of course, that's not literally happening, but you get the weird, or I get weird, like, sort of shock sensations. It's like in very specific locations too, where it feels like, yeah, I can't explain it. It's not like getting shocked by shock wire or electricity, but it's just this very specific sensation that visually represents itself. It doesn't feel like it, but visually represents itself like there's like a lightning strike or something internally through my organs. And it feels like it's the salt that's allowing that to happen, because salt is a conductor. So, yeah, I mean, it's all very ethereal. I'm doing it very feely here. But yeah, you can have too much salt. But hey, salt is essential for the body too. But you can't have too much of it, even when you're accompanied by all kinds of good minerals. And I just overdid it with the salt in the last months. Anyway, thanks for joining the show. But I didn't join the show. Oh wait, Skeptic did, right in the chat. Yeah. Hey, hello, by the way, Skeptic. Glad you finally found my channel. Yeah, you get a wrench. Crystals from... Yeah, Glenn Salty, that's different. That's very typical for cats. That's right. They get kidney stones very easily, or bladder issues, because of, well, the type of food, because of the type of processing of the food. They don't get that if you feed them organic. And they will very much appreciate that. Right? It's like palpable. If you feed your cat organic, it's not gonna become like addicted type. It will, like a cat that always just wants to eat. When you feed them organic, they will dim it down a bit because they will actually just get what they need instead of just I need more and more in the hopes that I'll get some nutrition. Anyway, no cereal, right? I'll be able, yeah. What? Uh, but yeah, Richard, you know that does happen. Like even before the whole organic revolution on my side, before there was even organic, look, there was a whole period where there was no organic cat food. I mean, that came later, like after 2000 era. Wasn't really there before that. I mean, there wasn't super wide available organic products everywhere in like the 90s, but there were like issues with bladder. Like our cats, some of them also had those issues just because of the food, and we thought that we were giving them good food, but it was still causing that. So our cats have had issues because of that. Well, after the organic revolution, my cat grew very old. Well, very old. Did eventually get issues, probably because of eating mice that are infected with worms and all that. But no kidney and bladder issues. That stopped because I started feeding her organic. It's because of the way they process it. With regular food, it causes that. There's just shit in there does that. What? What are you talking about? Raw mince. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I did also feed my cat some raw meat sometimes, but not the majority of it. Right. Anyway. Okay, what is that? Bone marrow? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're gonna go full carnage meat, then your pets are gonna freaking love that. And they're gonna be more badass. Stevenson. Yeah, don't talk about him. But I mean, yes. The thing about it is that he wants people to know it's him. It's part of his trolling maneuvering. That's his thing. He does. There's other trolls that go undercover, and then they like to reveal their cover and shock the one they're trolling. He likes to just be known that it's him. And that's why you shouldn't address it. But anyway. Trolls will be yeah. They really love seeking me out. What the hell's the temperature, by the way? I'm sitting here in my t-shirt for the first time and I haven't even checked the temperature yet. It's at 14 degrees. Okay. It feels warmer than that. Although, it's probably already cooling off. Seems like the sky is getting more clouded. It's gonna be a nice day tomorrow as well. It says 16 degrees. What? Wooden frame TVs? No, that's... Dude, you are old. I don't remember those TVs. No, all the TVs were always plastic and glass. The wooden panel TV. God, that's like 60s stuff, man. When the TVs were like more round shape as well. More like a big light bulb. I don't get it what you're saying though. For someone else to run in thinking you're on Blue Peter or a show and you're sitting... I don't get it. Is that your experience seeing a television for the first time? Dude, how freaking old are you, man? Not that I have anything against that, but I mean, I was born well into the television age. I don't have any memories of like, whoa, television for the first time. No. Or, wait, what? You mean sitting on the television? No, we didn't do that as kids. Cause we were like, no, those glass tube things, it's pretty cool and all, but like it's radiation coming from there as well. So you're not gonna sit on there with your balls right next to the screen. No. We did not sit on the television. But yeah, you can't sit on the modern flat TVs. No, that's right. Oh no. You know, you could just get a chair or a box. Anyway, I'm not getting it, I think. Remember when radio for some... That's very funny, antediluvian catharsis. I don't think you're 120 years old. Or something. Anyway, hey LSG, good to see you. You have how to handle part all charted out? Yeah, Rufus, I do. I have a multi-tier approach and I apply it to literally everybody. Everybody can have a little troll in them, and at some point it can choose to break out, and then you're bound to them, and then you usually, like, yeah, you keep stuck to that and you don't resolve it and you stay like a hater, or you figure out like, yeah, maybe that's something that's not good for anything, I'm just gonna let it go, just like Arwen typically lets things go. And then they come back to me. The age of the tattletales. No, it's just called communism, Glenn. I mean, it's not new. It's just on the internet now. That's the difference. I mean, they did that in communist Russia and East Germany all the time. And they just had people that would actually go and like spy and listen in physically. That's the difference. It was harder to do it. Now it's really easy. You can just be any like useless idiot with a bad attitude and you can just do that now. Right? Some of them don't even know why they're doing it. Usually because they're just like panicky, they don't have good moral stability, and then they panic and then they just, oh, they're hurting me, and then they do that. Like way out of proportion a reaction. It's like, it's similar to you're like friends with somebody, then they like, I don't know, really talk shit to your wife or something when you're right there and she's right there. You're gonna potentially slap him in the face or like say, dude, take that freaking back. And if they then like, oh, you're hurting me, and then they like really assault you, right? Really, like suddenly they really like start to bash your head in. That's crazy. Well, there's people like that. They just don't know how to respond proportionally when they panic. It's a weakness, really. It's not even like they want to do that a lot of the time. They just panic and then do that shit. Panic snitch. It's like panic snitch reflex. Very freaking annoying. And it is treatable, by the way. Can get rid of that. But not if you just let people do that and normalize it. Then it just becomes worse and they turn all demonic. Right? Because if you normalize that, then they'll just start to say, okay, thanks, I'll take that power then and just abuse it. Because everybody's okay with me abusing such power. Nobody's stopping me. Right? Anyway. People seem so petty and self-absorbed to me. Right. Well, I'm gonna get weird here for a bit, but I mean, there's really nothing wrong with being like egocentric. Problem is that if you're going to use your egocentrism as an escapist tactic to not face the world and its dynamic to interface with it, then you'll just become a idiot. If you don't right? If you use your ego, then you just become arrogant and delusional. This is standard. This is logical development. Like this is how that works. right? So I feel like I am very like self-centered, but like I have to be nice. I have to just uphold this code. Like it doesn't matter what I feel about situations. Like I don't let my feelings in the moment determine my pattern of behavior like that. It has an influence sometimes. It pushes me in a direction, but it never is the basis for my decision making, right? It's more like a paint that just can suddenly go all over it, and then I have to like adapt to that. But it's never at the root of my decision making. The code is at the root of my decision making, and that like out prioritizes whatever feelings I have. Because sometimes I feel like I hate everything, I hate myself, I hate everything, and like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Really, you're gonna let that influence what you do? It's just gonna ruin your life, and then a demon's gonna smile, right? So not doing that. And would sparsely express some of my internal struggles, but also it's like, yeah, but it is my struggle. I'm not letting that internal struggle that might get really kind of crazy and savage even. I'm not letting that, I'm trying not to let that influence the way I socially interact with people. I still have to go through these internal things, but I'm not like standardizing it as like, oh, I have all that inside me, so that I'm gonna force people to adapt to that because I have a really bizarre way of overly expressing myself in communication. No, because people can't really handle that. It's not durable. You have to adapt. You have to be nice. You have to follow the codes, even if you don't want to. Right? And then later, after that, you not wanting it to do that, if you still do it, the result is always better. So, empirical, right? Because the true result is in my favor. If I know how to aim for a true result and then have a logical foresight and not a delusional one based on my temporary wants and lusts, then I can prevent myself from getting worse. See, so in the end, being nice even is in my own self-interest. That I'm nice and helpful and that I help other people because I need other people to be better for me and for the world. So it's like, yeah, no, selfishness is not even bad. It's just that, are you willing to let everything polarize against you because of your short-term longings, right? That doesn't seem very good for your self-interest on the long run. So that's just foolishness, right? That's like a maniacal form of egotism. It's out of control. But to be self-centered, to always make sure that you're gonna come out better, to get the biggest surplus. Yeah, egotistical, but it doesn't have to make you like a backstabber or anything, or like, yeah, I guess what would be generally seen as like irrationally selfish, like selfish for no reasons. Like, oh, we got all this food, and then you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna share that, even though I probably could because I have so much of it. Like, that's because that sets a spiritual bad tone. That's not good for you. You see? So it's all rooted in very fundamental logic like that for me. That's my mechanistic approach, right? I have a mechanistic approach of my being and how I do decision making, but at the same time I also keep my senses, my sensitivity, because just uniformly adapting to like a group think or a group, like be safe with the group, well, it tends to like make you shave off a lot of senses that you can't express. And if you really focus on the group spirit instead of your own development, then you kind of tend to not develop anything, not develop except in the group dynamic. Then you become group dependent. Anyway, I'm digging here. There's not a real overarching lesson here. It's just like, yeah, I do it like this. Egotism doesn't have to be bad. Just don't be irrationally selfish. Because that's not in your best interest. Like, you need to recognize that that is a thing and then take it into account. Deal with it. It's in your best interest to do it right and to not seem like you really don't give a shit. Because you do in that moment, right? Because you're going to regret that later. So don't let some contemporary egotistical driven feeling manifest and set that bad tone. It's not in your best interest to do that, right? That's a form of selfish reasoning, but it is super logical. Right? Yeah, Tarot, hello. Still cannot leave? I can. But I mean, dude, he was not doing well mentally. I don't want to get it. I'm not like because he's evil, okay? It's just that he was an older guy and he had health problems. And health problems reflect on your social and mental function. It's just, that's the way it works. So I think, yeah, I mean, in a way, he was just getting old. And then, yeah, it happens. Eventually, it happens to us all. Right? I don't think there was some procedure or anything that led to this specifically. Although, I don't know, man. Maybe, yeah. No point in speculating about it. But yeah, for a lot of people that are into Flat Earth, it is a big shocker. Because he's been there like pretty much since the start. Second wave. Kind of like myself. But he was more invested. Like, he put a lot out there at first. Oh, okay, Tarot. I didn't know you really liked him like that. Okay. Yeah. That sucks. Yeah. Followed it for years until FED. Yeah. I had a time where I really tried to become part of Globebusters even. But I don't know, I immediately like bumped heads with people with David Wise because I was going to immediately insert holographic sun, which I was doing in 2016. Yeah, already then. It's not just something I've been doing recently. And about the looping and how equators is potentially a straight line. I was much less subtle about it. It's just like, no, the equator is a straight line. It's dead straight. It's not around a curve, it's straight. And like the map is not a disk. But yeah, even back then they were like, oh, you're not part of the way we're gonna develop. Basically, they didn't say that literally. So it just, yeah, they didn't pick me. It's too weird. They didn't trust me, and I was so nervous and kind of scared still about vision shit and all that. So I get it. But yeah, FED, that was great. That's where I could finally really start to develop like some of my social intellectual skills. Do I think FED and Glowbusters? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with Glowbusters. I mean, yeah. I don't know how their overall stances are gonna change, whether they're gonna be less hostile or even more hostile. I mean, they are their own people, you know? What? Hey, cat. It wasn't just Bob acting out like that. Right. What? In the middle of my show, cat? Really? Incoherent dielectric etc. I don't know if it will, Darrett. I think that like people like Witsit Gets It and Jaren are very much capable of holding on to that dielectric acceleration. I don't know if they care though. I think Witsit probably does. He really likes reciting all that. I have no idea about Jaren. I don't really know much about Jaren these days. I don't follow it at all. So Ether wasn't. Yeah, I know. But I mean, there's no telling whether they are going to discontinue. I mean, after everything that's happened, I don't know if they're all that eager to even try to re-merge. Like, was it even Bob that was in the way of that? Or are they just too different? Right? Also, the time difference. I mean, the flat earth debates and all that, it's England, it's that earlier time slot. It's like not really super compatible with these American YouTubers, flat earthers, because they're not early streaming types at all. So I think it's probably just gonna stay compartmentalized and they're just gonna do their thing and we're gonna do our thing, and we'll see what happens. It's way too early to tell, really, how it's eventually gonna find its level, fit into place. Yeah, Rufus said, but it's right. I mean, he really likes reciting all that. The whole dielectric, etc. He is really like fluid with it. He likes it. He's very proud of that. And he believes in it. Wits it. So, I don't know. I think it's not really gonna go away just because Bob passed away. Yeah, hello by the way, Raichi Quintuple Zero, good to see you. Bob passed away? Yeah, Zeptebi, he did. That's why it's in the title. I'm not gonna put that in the title, some stupid joke or something, you know? I'm not a dick. I'm kind of careful with my titling like that. Right. So yeah, it definitely happened. Karen said they will continue. Yeah, I mean, Globebusters as a show will probably continue, but what are they going to do on that show, right? Who's kind of taking the reins now of the aesthetics of it all? It's like, is it going to be more like the Jaren show, or do they have some other plan of how to roll out the show? Right? We don't know. We'll see. The Jaren show? Right. Well, there's a chance that it will kind of become the Jaren show. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it won't. It's not just Jaren, you know? The team there is pretty extensive. They have a team, and they have all been in it for a while. And they do research and all that, so... You've met Jaren? Okay. Fine, I've met Jaren too. It was kind of a dick to me. Okay, Darren. You thought it was Bob the Science? Would he really say all those things about Bob the Science Guy? Really? Nah. Anyway. I'm in the middle of the show, kitty. Yeah. Chicago skyline fit. Nah, that didn't do that for me at all. No, it was I think a video. It's an older video. I really remember the video. I don't really remember exactly what it was from. Was it from? It's not Eric DeBay. It was this other guy from the earlier scene. It's like this fast video where you basically keep following the horizon, and the guy's talking about where's the curve, where, and the video of the high altitude balloon with the sun forming this weird spotlight. That one. So it's all very. It's like 2000. Like late middle 2000, summer 2015. Was it for Math Powerland? Yeah, when he was still called Math Boylan. I think it was his video. Because, I mean, that guy was really out there with stuff. Okay, cool, Skeptic. What? Upward acceleration? No. What does upward acceleration have to do with anything? I don't think Reichi believes the Earth is upward accelerating. That's just a mathematical conception. Nothing is moving. Nothing is accelerating. It's just you could think of it as accelerating and then the mechanics kind of would pan out. But it isn't. It's more likely an entropy effect. It's another order of entropy. It's relative density. It just dense divides from the less dense in that way. Right? And nothing is, there's no acceleration being subjected to things. It's just that if some mesh becomes in disequilibrium with the density around it, then a force will manifest right there. It will manifest and will cause a displacement. Wind is moving. Yeah, that's local air pressure differential. Mostly because of temperature and gases like evaporating water, all kinds of things. It's a dynamic system. Yeah. The wind moving is because of the pressure differential, not because of the density necessarily. Right? Del. Dude, Reichi, don't listen to Del. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, man. I don't listen to him when he goes off on his ridiculous rants against everything. You shouldn't listen to that. He's just falling for the same aberration bullshit. It's just the aberration of gravity is getting to him again. Hey, that's why it's an aberration. Can possess you an idea that you can't let go. He's just got caught by gravity. The thing that doesn't exist. It's like, but what is causing it then? Those things. And he's just not listening anymore. He's not settling. He's like, no, there has to be more. He's just being a baby about it. Don't listen to him. No, he is not right. At all. He's not underbuilt with physics at all. Doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's just being freaking stubborn. That's all. Yeah, if you want to listen to aberration talk about gravity, and watch my old videos. It's literally on this channel. I have a video about that specifically on this channel before my live streams. There you can see it isn't. It's just, oh, there has to be something. Well, what is this? You can compare it to that. Yeah, but it's not though. It's only a model. Bring this idea. No, I doubt it. But you could try that, Reichi, but I mean, that's ridiculous. You're not gonna be received well with that. Yeah, I dealt with the aberration of gravity extensively years ago, 2017. Multiple shows about it. Really, like, I was the guy defending it. I know everything there is about gravity, including mentally. What it does to your mind. No, we're not. Weird thing to say, Glenn Salch. Yeah, Richard. No, that's part of the point of why I even do this. It's a study. It's a study of development. What I go through. That's why I do a show every day and share personal things in my state and all that. And then you can watch it, study it, basically go skipping videos like, oh, let's see what episode 100, no, let's see what 200, 300, and just see how it's changing, how I am changing the way I do things. Or you could get really meticulous and watch it all from like show to show, but holy shit, I mean, that's like over 3,000 hours. It's just good luck finding time to do that. And like, I mean, you must really like me then. Kind of creepy, almost. Watch all of it from beginning to end, non-stop, and not just get sick of it. Wow. Ugh. But you can do it if you wanted to. And I can do it if I want to. Like, if I want to see, like, wait, I have doubts about myself. I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. I've not really grown. And then all I have to do is just watch back old shows and just see, like, whoa, wait, damn, I had all those issues. I don't have those anymore. I can feel it. I can feel it off myself, off the screen, what I had back then. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, I am doing much better. I just forgot. So for that, it's good as well. I'm glad that there is a recording of what it was like then for me, with the Flat Earth talks especially, because I was dealing with a whole bunch of mysteries inside. The visions that I didn't understand yet. It just broke open to me. It's like this weird magical box that I found back all of a sudden, and like all this stuff comes out and it is like, what is this? And it was kind of scary too. It's like a whole bunch of senses just returned to me when that happened, and that I have been developing ever since. No, classical homeopath. Sharon is not right about that at all. Yeah, I have criticisms on Christianity as a whole, but I mean, he's simply just like, his policy is like, no, erase it all. I mean, that is not a good thing. Cat. God damn it, cat. Leave me alone. Ugh. Yeah, Terry. I mean, yeah, but I mean, he used to say all kinds of assertions and then not really back them up. Okay? Was doing that all the time. Very 2015 behavior. Never really stopped doing that. Jaren makes enemies where none exist before. Yeah. I mean, I think, like, yeah, I'm pretty much rejecting the entirety of Christianity in a certain way. But I'm not rejecting Christ. Jaren is actually doing that. Okay? Like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. It's really messed up. Yeah, I've got plenty of criticism on things associated with Christianity, behaviors, the foundational misleadings that it is a part of, but that doesn't mean that it's like throw it all away. That's absolutely insane. It needs to be resolved, not erased. Resolved, fixed. To pull it back to the really is level. But you can really only do it on a personal level, because you can't just force the world to change like that. Because the only way you can change things but through force in the world is by basically just ruining it. Yeah? You're not gonna filter out the crap. You have to overcome it and then show other people how to overcome the mistakes within it. And really bear the responsibility. I mean, being an actual follower of Christ is a big responsibility, because you face the world of misunderstanding, and like everywhere, your own family, like even in your own little kids, it will just pop up. It's in our spirit to reject it naturally. You have to choose to not reject it on the spiritual level, and then realize that you're probably going to get surrounded by a whole bunch of people that didn't reject it, but then immediately got seduced by the power of it, and so they're just using it. Right? There's a whole bunch of crazy escalated errors in Christianity. Crazy. But erasing, like saying like abandon all of it, that's not gonna solve any problems. It's actually gonna aggravate it palpably. Because what are you gonna use as a foundation then? Nothing. Do as thou wilt. Whatever you feel like. Or really, how do you know that those feelings are good feelings or bad feelings? How do you compare that? Right? He hasn't thought of any of that. If he got his way, then it would all turn into a giant satanic mess, where people would become irrationally selfish. Right? Because my idea of selfishness being the foundation I mean, it's very Christ compatible. It's like you have to take care of yourself in order to uphold care for others. Right? If you're a good you're doing good, and you're just doing good in cost of yourself, like it's going to kill you, then are you really good? Or are you just a match that's burning up and then gone? Right? In order to seed the good spirit, you have to be around and stable. You see? Okay, LVA for what? You can use your own divine. Yeah, no, that's... But if you don't know to distinguish, how do you know it even is divine? Might just feel really good, yeah? Giving into a demon, even though the end result is horrific, feels really good in the moment. How are you going to distinguish that? How are you going to know what is good and divine and what isn't? Yeah? That's the point. What are you going to base that on? How are you going to judge your own impulses without a foundation to help you distinguish what is what? But you're just going to make it up? Well, that's kind of what liberals do too. I mean, they're just making it up too. It's like, no, we reject that fundamental logical thing. We're going to do it this way. And they just make it up. Yeah? It's the same process. You don't discard the old. You refine it. You adapt. You figure it out. And you realize that over time, people get more distracted, more deluded, and they will think they're doing the right thing, but make mistakes all the time. And then if those mistakes are not recognized and reinforced, then they become evil without even realizing it. It's like being possessed, and they don't know that it is evil, what they're doing, right? You need the anchor point. You need a foundation of understanding. You need to base it off something, right? You can't just conjure up morality out of nothing. It has to be based on something. Right, yeah, Rachis, exactly. Your license plate is firmament. That's hilarious, Skeptic. Yeah, we need containment clear, or there's no gas pressure. Don't be an idiot. Yeah, you can't even calculate gas pressure without a containment, a volume, right? Not pushing arbitrary on some virtual square, but it has to be actually containing. It has to be able to resist the pressure of the gas in order for the gas pressure to stabilize. You definitely need containment to have gas pressure. Definitely. Right? But hey, how the containment is containment, that's a whole different matter, you know, that's a whole different story. Whether it's a dome, like a glass bowl sitting on top of us, I don't think so, but I mean, I can't technically exclude it. But that doesn't mean that's the only possibility of containment. Yeah? There's all kinds of things we just take for granted, poured into our minds through priesthood, like infinite space. There's infinite room. Oh, but we're on a flat earth. Oh, so is a dome. Oh, so there. Oh, you're gonna probably assume automatically that outside of the dome is more space, don't you? Yeah? That's why the dome is the safe thing, because it could resist the vacuum or whatever is out there. Well, what if there just isn't anything out there? No space, no volume for material to exist in. Would you still need a structure to encapsulate you, to create the container? Or is the container simply the limited available volume that matter can maneuver through? And after some point, it's just like, yeah, this is where the volume stops. And it's nothing can move there. Yeah? Is that material? No. It's non-space. Yeah? It can be. You don't know if there has to be some dome structure to separate us from what in your mind would be out there. Because that in your mind would be out there is the thing that you have been endlessly programmed with through heliocentrum, that there is more space out there. You're taking it for granted because it's in everything, in all the stories. Yeah, and hey, yeah, I long for the idea of more space, but I'm going to be realistic about it and not entertain something as delusional as infinite volume. Preposterous. Right? Which leads to, by the way, complications concerning the model of approach for creation, which would be, well, either there's totally nothing, and God literally made the available volume for matter to start forming in there, being created, existing. So there was no matter before his creation. Or it all started out in water, but then how much water? And because it's like, yeah, if there's nothing to stop that, then infinite water, well, yeah, then you get the infinite volume problem again. It's like philosophically compromised, that conception in my idea, because how much water then? Infinite water? Well, that becomes like an infinite problem then, physically. You need a container for a vacuum too? Yeah, indeed. What is on the other side of the container? Well, there may not be an other side of the container. There's just a limited available volume for matter to be able to exist in. Then there would be no other side of the container. There would be only nothing. But absolutely nothing. Not space, not volume that's devoid, but literally nothing. No space. Non-space. Hey, and if you have that, then why would you need a structure to separate you? Architecturally, you wouldn't. You just have the set volume, and there's nothing that can move beyond. Yeah. Outside of space is outside of space? No, but it isn't supernatural. If it's nothing physically, then how do you know it is anything else? You could assume that, you can imagine it, you can reason it out, but can you prove it? No, because there's no way that you could ever do anything with non-space other than stare at it and bump it, because there's no possible way for it to change. It's literally a limit for the matter to move into. It's like it's the end of the level, right? Like in Boulder Dash, it's like you have this barrier that surrounds the level, and after that's just nothing. You can't go there. There is nothing there. That's how I conceive it. Non-space. Right? Now, in old computer games, you might have a bug and do something like that. Well, then it would be just a bug. It might screw up the entire system. It's like, oh yeah, well maybe if you actually pass the limit, there's a place where you can go and it doesn't really exist anymore, or doesn't exist yet, but if you go there, then that literally just changes the nature of physical reality or something. But I mean, that's a little dramatic. Doesn't seem very logical for a designer to have an option for its creation like that. So I think it's all just set. And there might be dynamics over time, right? Just like there's the whole celestial sphere, rhythm, consistency, and all that with patterns. There might be loop pattern changes, right? The available volume of the realm container might alter, where suddenly an amount of space is like shrunk. So literally that volume and everything in it like doesn't exist anymore, or is not connected to the realm's volume anymore. It becomes in a separated loop. It comes outside of the loop, wherever that is. Another isolated realm space looping, perhaps, right? There might be, if you have the realm loop space that we know with potentially more land in south and north, who knows? And there might be other segments that are completely their own isolated systems that were originally one big system and then separated through loops. Right? This is highly conceptual, of course, but I mean, who knows? I mean, once something could be possible, what's to stop the designer from using that to a maximum degree, right? If the creator can fold space like that in a looping system, then who's to say that he couldn't do more with it than just that setting? Just setting it the way that is might be able to have more dynamic capability that he might unfold over time, might unleash, right? Suddenly a realm segment could just pop up. Like even east or west, somewhere like in the Pacific, just suddenly like, oh, what? The amount of volume, like east and west is longer now? How does that work out with the Celestials? Who knows what would happen, right? What if, this is hyper speculative. This is basically what astrophysicists do, except I'm not doing it about space nonsense and black holes and time-space bending. I'm doing it about actual room possibilities, speculation of the realm. That's the difference. Right? So what if we have the realm? It's in the looping system the way it is, and what if just because it was designated by the designer, suddenly the realm becomes bigger, east to west? Yeah? I mean, that's gonna like really completely destroy instantaneously the entire celestial ball based system, because it's like, yeah, that doesn't work anymore. How would the celestials like rotate slower because the amount of east to west space has increased? Like, what would happen to the system if something like that happened? Like the entire celestial arrangement could just change. Like the celestial sphere might turn slower. Maybe even the sun might become slower. It might literally change the way we perceive time, which is derived from the celestial cycle of the sun mostly, right? So the way time passes could change if suddenly a piece of volume would be added to the realm, in which there might be just like an entire continent, like it was always there, even with animals, and it just appears. It's like, it doesn't come out of the ground. No, it's just like, it was always there. It's now suddenly become in reach. The loop has retracted, leaving all that stuff that has now always been there practically. Huh? Something like that could happen. Potentially. It's a very interesting idea to entertain, for me at least. But it is kind of like Dr. Becky talking about her astrophysics nonsense. It is, except that could never ever happen, and it's all based on false presuppositions, right? That's the difference. My speculation might turn out to actually be possible and true. Unlike her nonsense, which is definitely not true, because the Celestials are not objects. So it could never be true. It's not true in this physical realm. Now, it might be true in another dimension where it really is like that. Yeah, good luck. It's not this real world, though. Right? What I'm talking about with the looping and all that, it might turn out to be true. That's the difference. Anyway, yeah, it's been a great show. Had a good talk. Right. What is going on here? Are you guys still talking about the same things here? What? is going on? What are you guys bickering about? The weight of Mercury. Okay. Right, anyway, I'm gonna take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. I'm probably gonna round out the show. And I'm back. Man, it's a bit cold in here. I'm gonna put my sweater back on. Mess up my hair too much. Nah, it's fine. Yeah, but it's getting colder here now because the sun's not hitting the side of the building anymore. Oof. Right, anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show, really. Of course, sad news for a lot of people about Bob Knodel. But, I mean, it's been an interesting show, right? What do you think, guys? We're too busy bickering with one another to pay attention. I don't know. What causes pressure changes in altitude? Temperature influence. I mean, how many times that has to be said? Reggie? Yeah? Gradient can be simulated, can be done empirically. Temperature influence, and there is provable temperature influence at ground level. There's heat here. So, if you then assume that there is a cold influence at the top, wherever that may be, then a gradient follows logically. We can make that ourselves in an aquarium with temperature influences, and then the gas will gradiate. It's just how that works. Yeah? That's it. That is all there is to that. There's no further debacle about, oh, but the why. That's why. Temperature. That's why. Temperature. It's because of temperature. That's why it's a gradient. Okay? That's it. There's no further debate, but what is the else force? No. Temperature. It's just temperature. Didn't I get... Yeah, but that's just stupid. I don't know. Maybe Cleary's just being a dick. He gets trollish, too. It's just ridiculous saying that at this point. Doesn't seem to be saying a lot. Right? And like, oh no, Cleary's been around for years. If he's saying something like that, he's just trying to fuck with you. That's all. He knows that. Ether at sea level. Yeah. You know why? Because oxygen is kind of a heavier molecule. Also, it actually gets excreted at ground level where the plants are that consume the CO2. Right? And water, it's also in the air. It's at ground level more, even vapor. And then turns that into glucose and oxygen. Yeah, that's why there's more oxygen at ground level, because that is where it's being produced. Yeah, if there wouldn't be no more gas production, no more interaction at ground, it's all dead, right? Just imagine all life dead. Guess what? It's gonna change the gradient, because there is no more constant interaction, no more taking the CO2 out, creating oxygen, all that interaction that plants do at ground level. If that's gone, yeah, that's gonna change the way the gases are spread out, because there's gonna be lower concentrations. They're all going to be kind of thin and spread out all over the place then. But because they're getting absorbed and transformed at ground level, that's why there's a higher concentration, right? Compare it to the desert. Yeah, at ground level in the desert, in the middle of the Sahara, there's less oxygen. Yeah, compared to at ground level in the middle of a forest. Because of that reason. Because those trees are throwing it out there. Yeah, that's how that works. Are expelled at sea level, right? And also in the ocean, even in the ocean, gases, right? There's algae and all that, microbes, and yeah, they too do all kinds of interactions in the ocean, right? A lot of gases dissolve in water, typically, just from the water moving around, right? Just, it's like shaking water with air, like in a bottle. You keep shaking it, yeah, that water is gonna be drenched in that gas. You can literally dissolve gases in liquids like that. Yeah, you can even like oxygenize. You can have some water and then just keep pumping oxygen through that water and then seal it, and you'll have like oxygenated water. Now, if you let that open to the bare air, the oxygen will eventually trickle out and then kind of leave, right? But you can dissolve stuff in liquid like that. Yeah, so it's in the ocean and on the surface of Earth where there are plants that there is a lot of gas being absorbed and transformed and expelled. Oxygen is part of water. Yeah, it is also part of water. That's right. But oxygen can also dissolve in water on top of it being part of water. molecular wise, I know. Right? I mean, people who have fish know this, right? Because, yeah, your fish in a fish tank, you need a bubbler. You need air to be pumped through it. Why? Because otherwise the fish will eventually choke, right? The water needs to be oxygenated for fish to be able to live. They don't breathe it through air, they filter it out of the water because there is gases, including oxygen, dissolved in the water that they filter out and then use. Yeah? So the gas, in its gaseous form, dissolves in the water. So it basically gets stuck to it, to the water molecules. They're stuck to it, in between. If you just let it sit, then eventually it will just kind of like wiggle free and separate again. But I mean, the water's constantly in motion, and there's algae and all that, so there's gases being produced continually, which, yeah, dissolve in the water. Every time an air bubble from the ocean like goes up, you see that mirrory look, like, yeah, well, as it's doing that, that gas is also like dissolving some of it. Some of those gases that go up is dissolving in the water surrounding it. And it stays there. Like in a non-gaseous form, basically, dissolved in the water. It is gas, but it is not creating pressure because it's dissolved in the water. Yeah? Kind of weird, right? But I mean, without that mechanic, fishes would not survive. They need to breathe too. Right? It's open. Yeah, it's cute. Except, yeah, gas doesn't go down, go boom boom. Cleary. Yeah, pressure. Gas pressure is pressure too, and other things can have pressure. And so you compare the pressure. That's what a barometer is. You compare the pressure. Pressure of the stuff you're having in a very specific sealed container versus the pressure from the gas outside. And that's what it is. That's how you measure gas pressure. You compare pressures. It's the only way to do it. You have to have a specific pressure standard, and then you compare that very specific pressure standard to the pressure of the gases that surround you. And that's how it works. I think Cleary might have had a bit of a bender last night or something. I don't know, man. Whatever. I'm rounding out the show. It's been over 2 hours, but I mean, it was a good show. So, thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogans it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That'll be much appreciated. And yeah, I can kind of use the support still, so please keep it coming. PayPal donations would be much appreciated. Keeps me fed and all that and not worried about issues. Right. So, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1565 on a Sunday. And yeah, no ballbusters as far as I know. The QE was going to be out of the roulette online for a while. Might be going on like vacation somewhere or something. I don't know. But yeah. So hope to see you tomorrow and like on Premiere chats and maybe Flatzoids. So until the next video, keep it flat.